Class 11. Welcome to the online tutorial sessions for economics. Today we are here with the third chapter, which is collection of data, and today we are going to start the new topic, which is principles of sampling. Yes, statistics also has some principles, some laws. Now the first law which we are going to study is law of statistical regularity. Now according to this law, if a sample of adequate size means of a normal size, is selected from a large population. If from a larger population you are taking the sample of a normal size, sufficient size, then it tends to possess all these same characteristics of those population. It means to say that if you are taking a sufficient amount of samples from your population, from a larger population, then that sample or those samples will have the characteristics which all the populations are having. All the members of the population are having those characteristics will be found in those samples. Fine. Suppose this is your population, and from this population you have selected 3 samples. Fine. And these samples will possess the qualities, the characteristics of all this population. That was law of statistical regularity. That the adequate amount of samples will have all the characteristics which are in the population. Fine. Now the second law is law of inertia of large numbers. Means, according to this law, the average obtained from large group are more stable. Or, I have explained it in one more line. Larger the size of sample, more accurate the results are likely to be. Means if you are going to take more and more samples from a population, then your result will be more accurate. Suppose from this population you have taken 3 samples, and from this population you have taken this one also, this one, again this one, and you have taken so many samples. Suppose I have taken 15 samples. Now tell me, which investigation will be more accurate? Will the 3 samples will be the more accurate investigation, or the investigation with 15 samples be more accurate? Obviously 15 samples are there, so it will be more accurate. Fine, this will be more accurate. So that's your law of inertia of large number. Means larger the size of sample, more accurate the results are likely to be. Now let's come to the next topic. Friends, the last topic for today's video is Census of India and NSSO. Now, census is being regularly from every 10 years. In India, census is being conducted at every 10 years. Now, first census after independence was held in 1951, and the first census of India was held in 1881. First census was held in 1881, and first census after independence was held in 1951. Who is responsible for conducting census in India? The Home Ministry. The Ministry of Home Affairs is sole responsible for conducting census in India. Ministry of Home Affairs, that is the government of India, has the responsibility of conducting census in India. Now census collects information on various aspects. Under the census, each and every person is being asked the questions, and as the respondent as the sample, and data is being taken out from that sample. Now, census collects information on various aspects of population, like size, how many people are living in our country, what is the total population, the density, on how much piece of land, how much population is living, the gender ratio, how many males are living, how many females are living, the literacy rate, how many people are educated and how many people are uneducated, the migration, how many people have crossed the border, rural urban distribution, how many people are living in rural areas and how many people are living in the urban areas. Now that's the Census of India. NSSO means National Sample Survey Organization. Now, it was set up in the year 1950 under the chairpersonship of Mr. P.C. Mahalanobis in the year 1950. And at that time, this NSSO was known as only NSS, means National Sample Survey. That's it. But in 1970, it was recognized as NSSO, means National Sample Survey Organization. This O was added in the year 1970. Now, what is NSSO? NSSO is the largest organization in India which conducts socio-economic surveys on a regular basis, and also along with the surveys on industries and agriculture. So basically they conduct the surveys on socio-economic surveys or the annual surveys on the industries and agriculture. Now they collect the data, they do the survey, they do everything. Now how they release the data? They release the data through reports on their websites, on their newspapers, on the radios, on any other platform, and through its quarterly journal which is known as Sarvekshana. Fine. Now NSSO has divided its division. There are 4 divisions of NSSO. First is Survey Design and Research Division. Basically, whatever the survey is going to take place, they design it, they design the format, they design the questions, and the research work is done on that whole survey, and then that's the work of Survey and Design Research Division. Second one, Field Operation Division. Under the Field Operation Division, on the ground level people are sent so that they can collect the data. They are also trained. Third one is Data Processing Division, under which the collected data is being processed and they have been arranged accordingly. Under it and after it, the fourth one is Coordination and Publication Division, under which the data which is being organized, which is processed, is coordinated, and after that coordination it is being published for the general public. Student, these 2 topics are very important as your 1 mark or MCQs, and it could be also asked in the 3 marks question. So they are important. Now students, your chapter is completed. Collection of data is finally completed. I hope you have understood the whole topic, and that's all for this video and this chapter. Stay home, stay safe, and see you soon.